June 11th, 2026 board meeting of the South Carolina Public Charter School District. The first item for me today was call to order an introduction, and we certainly do have an introduction this morning. I'm very happy to introduce Matthew Taylor from Loris, South Carolina. Loris is about 25 miles from North Myrtle Beach. Matthew is helping bring down the average age of the board of the South Carolina Public Charter School District. And for that, we appreciate him immediately. He is young in years, but he is wise in knowledge and perspective. So I will now call on, thank you. We're very excited for you to be here.
Honored.
Yes, thank you. I'll now call on Kip Miller, board member, for the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with grateful hearts for the opportunity to gather at this Board of Directors meeting, and we ask for your wisdom and guidance as we discuss the future of our charter schools. I pray that you bless our leaders and our teachers and our students. I pray for your leadership and guidance as we discuss things today. I pray that we'll do so in a way that honors and pleases you. And Lord, that you'll give us the right outcomes. In Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance by Dexter Davis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we will call on Craig Plank to read our mission, position, and mission statement.
All right, our position statement. The South Carolina Public Charter School District embraces its state-appointed role as the distinct authorizer of public charter schools statewide. And the mission statement. The South Carolina Public Charter School District authorizes, supports, and champions innovative K-12 public charter schools, ensuring quality educational opportunities for the parents and academic excellence for students so every South Carolina child can reach his or her highest potential.
Thank you. And now, if we are ready for the oath of office to be administered to us.
Good morning. Would trustees Mosteller, Butcher, Plank, and Tyler please stand? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified according to the Constitution of this state to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been appointed, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States.
The Constitution of this state and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Our Secretary, Jonathan Butcher, will now call the roll.
Jonathan Butcher is present. Dexter Davis.
Present.
Stephen Gilchrist. Kip Miller.
Present.
Cindy Mosteller.
Present.
Craig Plank.
Present.
Dr. Teresa Pope.
Present.
Dr. Billy Strickland. Matthew Tyler.
Present.
Okay. We will now move to the consent agenda. The first item there, the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, June 11th, 2026. We need a motion and a second to approve the agenda for today's June 11th, 2026 board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, the chair will put the motion to a vote. All in favor? Indicate.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you. Next, in the consent agenda, approval of the minutes for the May 14th, 2026 meeting.
Madam Chair, I approve the minutes for the May 14th meeting.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to note just one correction there.
Yes.
It lists me as being present, but indeed I was not present at the meeting.
That's good that you even. So we need to make a note of that, Secretary, a note of that. Thank you, thank you. Do we have any public comments? That's our next section. Any public comments?
Madam Chair, we have one person this morning, Ms. Caitlin Remington. She is the parent of two former Green Simpsonville students.
Good, thank you. Thank you for coming. You might have been apprised of the rules, so to speak. The time limit is 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning. In order to make sense of sudden mid-year financial and operational crises, parents at Green Charter this year ultimately uncovered 5 years of financial, operational, and academic mismanagement that include almost $4 million in documented waste, poor management policy that led to an arrest and 3 lawsuits, as well as a clear pattern of consistently underperforming schools. Parents felt compelled to ask questions, collect and analyze data, and create our own dashboards in order to monitor the health of our 7 campuses across the state. We investigated Green financially, operationally, and academically, and continuously fought for transparency through public comments as well as countless emails and FOIA requests. We petitioned for the removal of our executive director and sent resources about charter school governance to our insufficiently trained governing board. Because of our forced oversight, I have a number of suggestions for the district. First, a charter school shouldn't be allowed to ignore the mission stated in its charter. Falsely market a rigorous curriculum when it has none, operate without an academic performance committee, sign a building lease without first obtaining an MEP narrative, or replicate without first proving successful implementation of its charter mission and educational program at both its original school as well as previous replications. Secondly, charter school boards need more training and education and access to data dashboards that provide objective financial, operational, and academic transparency and analysis. Oversight requires more than passive review of school-submitted annual reports. When the district fails to look closely, students and taxpayers take the hit, ultimately risking the credibility of the entire charter school movement and undermining the very promise of school choice. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank you for your very substantive remarks. Now we move to informational items. Senior graduate highlights.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. 'Tis the season for high school graduations. The South Carolina Public Charter School District congratulates the graduates of the class of 2026. We are proud of our students' accomplishments and look forward to cheering for each of them as they strive to reach their goals and continue to reach their fullest potential. We have the pleasure of attending many graduations across the state, and each unique ceremony celebrates the closure of one door, the attainment of a milestone, and a momentum to carry into the future. Today, we would like to celebrate with you that momentum that led students to earn associate's degrees alongside, or maybe even before, their high school diploma, enlist in the military, and also a graduate that has earned the seal of biliteracy. Please join me in congratulating a sample of those recognitions this morning. Graduates, as I call your name, please come forward to receive an honor cord as a token of our celebration of your accomplishment from the district. We will also take a photo with each of you. After all graduates have been recognized, we will take one group photo. And so you'll join at this opposite step and repeat this morning. Up first, I would like to introduce you to Evan Bailey. Evan is a PDMSTA graduate. Evan has earned 2 associate's degrees. The first is an Associate's of Arts, and the second is an Associate of Science from USC Sumter. Next year, Evan will attend USC Columbia and plans to study business management and real estate. Congratulations, graduate. Up next is Tiffany Alice. Tiffany is a Legacy Early College graduate. She has earned 2 associate's degrees in science and arts from Greenville Technical College alongside her high school diploma. Next year, Tiffany will attend Coastal Carolina University and plans to study nursing and health science. Congratulations, graduate. Up next, we have Shakaya Huff. Shakaya is also a graduate from PD MSTA. Shakaya has enlisted in the Army National Guard. This fall, Shakaya will attend Claflin University studying criminal justice. She will also be part of their ROTC program at Claflin before her official enlistment this September. Congratulations, graduate. Our next graduate is Markea Young. Markea is a Legacy Early College graduate. She has earned 2 associate's degrees, 1 in science and 1 in arts from Greenville Technical College alongside her high school diploma. Next year, Markea will attend USC Columbia and plans to study public health. Congratulations, graduate.
Well, great morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. The South Carolina Seal of Biliteracy is an official credential awarded by districts or schools to students who demonstrate high proficiency in both English and at least 1 additional world language. This recognition serves as a verified indicator of bilingualism and biliteracy for colleges, universities, and employers throughout the United States. The Seal of Biliteracy is now recognized in all 50 states, reflecting a nationwide commitment to valuing language proficiency as an important academic and workforce skill. PCSD has a total of 28 recipients of the South Carolina Seal of Biliteracy. 16th, 11th graders, 12th graders, 2 of which of the 11th graders earned bronze, 6 12th graders earned bronze, and then 14th, 11th graders earned silver, and 6 12th graders earned silver. Today, PCSD is thrilled to celebrate and honor one of our recipients of the South Carolina Seal of Biliteracy, who is proudly here with us today. Sophia Saboniers is a High Point Academy graduate. Sophia has earned the Silver Seal of Biliteracy. Next year, Sophia will be attending Furman with an ultimate goal of being a speech pathologist. Congratulations, graduate.
Graduates, if you would all come forward for one final group photo, please.
Today we are recognizing Mandy Freeman, Financial Manager of State and Federal Programs, for her 5 years of service to the district. Mandy joined us in 2021, bringing with her a calm professional approach to school district finance. She has added a strong sense of accountability and service to schools, and her teammates appreciate her steadfast commitment to excellence. In her 5 years with the PCSD, Mandy has always gone above and beyond in her daily duties, and we are appreciative of her dedication to our mission and vision. Mandy, thank you for your service. We appreciate what you've accomplished in 5 years. Come on up.
Mandy, I just want to say congratulations on your service the last 5 years and your service to our state, because you've been in public education and working in other districts before. But you're part of our spectacular finance team. I would say the best in the entire state. And it's proven by the work that you put in, the dedication, and the commitment you have to our values. So congratulations.
And I just want to say, in the yin yang of things, what a wonderful contrast you and Nick Michael are. That's my assessment. The team is full. It's covered the whole spectrum. yeah. Okay. That's all I got to say.
And our last informational item today is our annual, yearly, same thing, Core Value Award winner. We're here today to celebrate someone truly special, our PCSD Employee Core Value Winner of the Year. When I read the nominations from across the district for this individual, a few themes stood out immediately. Words like excellence, dedication, bubbly energy appear over and over again. Colleagues describe this person as a quiet force and a bright light who enters the building smiling and leaves smiling. She has a magical way of lifting your spirits with the exact kind words you didn't know you needed. Whether she's simplifying complex issues, collaborating closely with school teams to solve problems, or building unbreakable bonds with internal and external partners, her growth potential is absolutely limitless. Above all else, she's a lifelong learner who lives and breathes our mission. Day in and day out, she shows us what it truly means to put kids first. She's a breath of fresh air, a joy to work with, and the ultimate example of excellence at the PCSD. Please join me in a massive round of applause for our 2026 District Core Value Award winner, Andrea Green.
Andrea, congratulations. I'm not surprised. I said this last year when you won the quarterly that you're my first person I see almost every morning, and your attitude, your outlook on life every day really inspires me and brings sunshine to my life. But I know that you do that for everybody on this team. You just have such a great attitude. She drives in every morning from Orangeburg. And we do talk about cooking and barbecue a little bit. And she's like me, she loves food. And we like to talk about cooking. And but I really appreciate the fact that you live out our values every single day, every one of them. And it's reflected in your work, it's reflected in your relationships, and it's reflected in the way that you treat your colleagues and our school. So congratulations.
And I would say that you're a person whose personality goes from head to toe. I mean, you can tell just walking up here, the way you are, the intensity you have. And that's a gift God didn't give everybody. So, and you've used it so well. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes our informational items.
Well, that was all delightful, just very delightful. And we have such a close camaraderie with each other and in a noble mission. It's a wonderful thing. Now, there is no executive session needed, is that correct?
That's correct.
We will now begin with our action items, the Meyer Center for Special Children Medicaid Contract Amendment by John R. Payne will give us that presentation. Oh, excuse me, Eric.
Sorry, I'm gonna pinch hit on this one. There is not another John Payne. You'll be glad to know. We're just pinch hitting on this a little because this amendment, we sort of continued to negotiate the terms of it. And you will see, I actually put the most recent version and the version we're asking you to approve on top of your binders this morning, so it was on top of your blue notebooks. I apologize for the late notice. This is a very technical amendment to their contract. Let me just kind of give you the top line.
Okay.
The top line is this. Meyer Center is really the only school within our portfolio that does Medicaid in a way that is profitable to them or that makes sense to them. Our other schools that have tried to do Medicaid, it's just the administrative bureaucracy makes it not worth it. They've tried it, we've tried it. There is so much bureaucracy associated with doing Medicaid services and then trying to seek reimbursement for it. A few years back, Medicaid reimbursement rates were changed and really reduced so that it just simply, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, so to speak, for any of the other schools. And so with Meyer Center being the only school doing it, it made sense to move those services and the administration of those services to the school level rather than keeping it at the district level. So what we did is we worked with the Meyer Center to come up with an amendment to their contract that moves the services to the Meyer Center level. I know that sounds simple, but the problem is that in Medicaid, the LEA has what's called an NPI number. That NPI number is what has to be, which is the mechanism for billing. And so the district has to have a role because the Meyer Center cannot obtain an NPI number. It's not permitted. The LEA, the district, has to have it. So what this short amendment does, like most things, the shorter it is, the more work it takes. What this short amendment does is it moves the operation of the Medicaid services to the Meyer Center. It moves the costs, the hard costs of the Medicaid services to the Meyer Center. It keeps only the legally required oversight of the Medicaid operations at the district level, and it allocates the responsibility and the risk accordingly. It's a very, even though it's a very short amendment, it's the result of a lot of hard and collaborative work that we really appreciate from the Meyer Center. This is a good example of innovation in the way that you can work within the charter world. The only change from the version that we emailed out to you has to do with some very specific financial aspects of it. Specifically in paragraph A under section 5.4 there, we added in a very specific line that talks about at the end, which may include third-party processing fees and any non-federal match requirements. If anybody wants any explanation of that, Nick will be glad to explain it to you. If you look down in section B, there's some other specificity added to what costs are involved and that kind of thing, but it's all very technical. It doesn't change the overall intent. It just adds some specificity. So I just want to make sure you understood what this is. It's a very different arrangement that we have with other schools, so I thought it was worth taking a minute to explain sort of the big picture of this without getting into the details. The staff recommendation is to approve this, and so at this time, if there aren't any questions, I'd ask for a motion to approve the amendment to the Meyer Center Charter School contract with relation to Medicaid services.
Thank you, Eric. We need a motion and a second to approve the Meyer Center for Special Children Medicaid contract amendment as recommended by staff.
To motion to approve the Meyer Center amendment as provided this morning, separate from what's in the board materials.
Correct. Thank you.
Wait, I mean, can you show me that? Do we need to
This,
know that?
it was
Oh,
in.
this, yes, this, right here, yes, okay.
Second.
Okay. Okay, are there any questions? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking that complexity, giving us that layout, and also that the school will have a certain amount of autonomy, which is wonderful for them, I think. So, well, thank you very much. Next is the Horse Creek Academy Amendment. Kristen Farmer.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. The first amendment today is from Horse Creek Academy in Aiken, which we are excited to officially welcome into the PCSD portfolio officially on July 1st. Horse Creek and its board request approval of a facility expansion amendment to support continued enrollment growth in expanded academic, arts, athletic, and career and technical education programming. The proposed project includes the construction of an approximately 25,000 square foot facility that will house a competition gymnasium, additional classrooms, CTE-ready instructional spaces, flexible learning areas, concessions, and restroom facilities. Additional campus improvements include the removal of modular classrooms, expanded parking, improved traffic flow, athletic field lighting, and the construction of a community pavilion. Estimated cost of the facility expansion is between $9.5 and $11.5 million. Horse Creek currently serves students in grades 4K through 12 and projects continued enrollment growth. The school indicates that the project will create permanent learning spaces, improve campus organization, and enhance opportunities for students in the broader community. PCSD staff reviewed the amendment request and financial information. The school remains financially compliant, maintains an enrollment of approximately 1,380 students, not including preschool, exceeds district expectations for cash reserves and fund balance, and is considered low risk under the district's internal risk assessment process. However, the financial projections submitted with the amendment do not include the anticipated debt service associated with the proposed bond financing. As a result, PCSD staff recommends approval of the facility expansion amendment contingent upon submission and approval of revised financial projections that incorporate the final bond debt costs once they become available later this summer. This would allow the school to continue planning for the facility expansion while providing PCSD staff the opportunity to verify the long-term financial sustainability of the project once the final bond financing details are available. Staff respectfully requests a motion to conditionally approve the Horse Creek Academy amendment.
Thank you. We need a motion and a second.
Madam Chair, I move that we take the PCSD staff recommendation and approve Horse Creek Academy's proposed facility expansion and campus improvements conditional upon submission and approval of the revised financial projections that incorporate the anticipated bond debt associated with the project.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
And we welcome Anne Marie Taylor, Chief Vision Officer, here today to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone with questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We just have limited financial data here that we can look at, and I know it's going to be submitted later.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple of questions. When that is submitted, will that be staff that's reviewing that, and it will not come back to the board?
That's correct. It will go through our finance department.
Well, the data that we have here the debt has only been reduced by approximately $300,000 from last year to this year. Can you just share with us how
Sure.
the school intends to pay off this debt, pay
Sure.
down this debt?
This is not our first time around securing bonds. We had our first bond in 2014 and our second bond in 2021. So we're looking at some of those bonds, combining, maybe even getting a credit rating at this point, since our school has been around 25 years this coming year. And so we're really looking at long-term financial stability and looking for a credit score at this point. Because of that, we're taking our time with our finances and making sure everything's in order, which is why we've asked for a little bit more time before we promise our next bond. So our board is fully aware of those constrictions as well. I would like to say, since I have a mic and I rarely will get this opportunity, we are new to your district, coming from Limestone. And I will say I'm hard to please as a school leader. I expect a lot. And under the direction of your superintendent, Neely, as well as your staff, we have been so ecstatic about the future and the partnership with you and feel so confident. So I did want to make sure you understood that. I also want you to understand that while we're a school of 1,400, our wait list is at an all-time high of 1,275 students. And so because of the wait list, our campus of the 30 acres has to continue to grow. We will, though, take every precaution to make sure the debt is completely manageable, but the wait list and the continued wait list has us feeling really optimistic about the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I have a
Yes.
question. Do you currently have a contractor picked out for your project improvement?
We do. Our board has worked with the same contractor. Obviously, we had to submit an RFP for that work, but our contractor that did our last improvement in 2021 is the contractor we plan to use, and so it's been a long-term relationship.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you for coming here today. We're very glad to meet you.
You're welcome.
And welcome to the family, which is what it is.
We're ecstatic.
So we need a motion and a second to approve Horse Creek Academy's
We have a
proposed
motion and a
facility.
second.
Thank you. We've gone through any questions, any further questions? No. Hearing none, we will now take the vote. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we will have Midlands Middle College Amendment.
Midlands Middle College and its board request approval to amend its charter to add ninth grade beginning in the 26-27 school year. The school currently serves grades 10 through 12 in a middle college model partnership with Midlands Technical College. Adding ninth grade is intended to improve enrollment stability and better prepare students for end-of-course assessments, dual enrollment participation, and college and career readiness outcomes. The proposed expansion would be phased in over several years, beginning with 10 ninth grade students in the 26-27 school year and increasing to 30 students by 28-29. Ninth grade students would remain housed in Springdale Hall, the school's dedicated building, and would not participate in dual enrollment coursework. Average class sizes are expected to remain below 16 students, and Midlands Technical College has been informed of and supports the proposed expansion. The amendment also updates the school's mission statement, educational plan, and course offerings to reflect service to grades 9 through 12. The existing staffing and classroom space are sufficient to accommodate additional grade level without the need for additional personnel or facilities. PCSD staff reviewed the amendment request, enrollment projections, and financial analysis and determined that the school is financially stable and low risk. Staff respectfully requests a motion to approve the Midlands Middle College Amendment effective August 1st, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. We need a motion and a second to approve the Midlands Middle College Amendment as recommended by staff.
I move we approve the staff recommendation to amend its charter to expand the grades served from grades 10 through 12 to grades 9 through 12.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Second, Matthew.
Principal Bill Robinson is here today to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question.
Yes.
You have a total of, or you're going to have a total of 110 students by adding the ninth grade, and it looks like your debt in 2025 is like $42 million. Is that, am I looking at that correct? No, I'm sorry, it's 41,000. That's a big difference. Okay.
Very big, yes.
Just a little.
Thank you for that correction.
I just wanted to see what Taj Mahal you built for those 110 students.
Zero is the most important number.
Yes.
When you add them all up. Okay. Any further questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes, yes.
It's much easier to actually bring students and scholars in from the 8th grade.
Right.
Just want to know, are you prepared to handle the 504s and the IEPs and all of that with this new way of doing it?
Madam Chair, Board, I appreciate you allowing us to be here to speak on this topic and to answer your question. We're certainly prepared to handle all special program students. We have on staff a special programs teacher and coordinator. We currently serve IEPs, 504s, and multi-language learners, and we have definitely enough capacity in our current staffing load to accommodate any growth. Even if every additional student we brought in had accommodation needs, we could accommodate that right now without any expansion.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a comment on the question. The last two reports that we received, is there someone who's keeping up with the student enrollment in terms of demographics? Because with the waiting list of 12,000 that you mentioned, and then the expansion that you're hoping for, just wanted to know what that looks like in terms of including all children.
So from a demographic breakdown, we certainly do, we're a very diverse school. We receive Title III dollars, and we have channeled that in multiple ways where we're approaching pupils of poverty, parents in poverty, multi-language learners. We certainly want to teach every student. Anybody who comes to our door, if they meet, and we have a low bar of criteria, we want people that want to get it done, and we want to be a partner with them for success. I can't compare us on numbers right off the top of my head, but I would say we're the same or better if you're measuring diversity across the state.
Okay. And you're mirroring the population that you serve, the community you serve. And I was wondering if somebody on our staff double checks that to make sure that.
Yes, we do, and we can certainly get you that information.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Great point. Any other questions? Having a motion and a second, we will now call for handle discussion, and we will now take the vote. All in favor of the motion to approve Midlands Middle College amendment as recommended by staff, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Nick.
Morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'd like to start by calling Mandy up here to present my financial report. Actually, I would like for Stephen Strother to stand up, please. Stephen is a new staff member to the PCSD family. He joins us as the Chief of Financial Services with over 20 years of school district finance experience and State Department experience. So please welcome Stephen to the team. All right, Madam Chair and board members, at the end of May, we expect 8.33% of the general fund budget to remain. We are currently at 13.41%. My report will show the district is operating at a net gain for the month and for the year. If you flip over to page 2, this is the district-wide income statement, which includes general fund, state aid to classrooms revenue transferred to our schools. Through May 31st, the district received over $207.7 million in revenue with total expenditures of $207.3 million, which equals a net gain of $381,172. Of the revenue received, over $202.1 million was sent to our schools under the state aid to classrooms line and for any that participate in the state retirement system. If you flip over to page 3, this is the income statement for the district office only, which includes our general fund revenue recorded for our state mandated 2% authorizing fee, interest income, and any other local sources. For the month of May, the district recorded over $529,000 in revenue, over $473,000 in expenditures, for a net increase of $55,981 for the month. This increases our fund balance, the $381,172, to $3,843,938 for the year. The June financial report will also show a net increase for the month, resulting in an increase in our fund balance at year end. If you flip over to page 4, this report breaks out the district's budget and expenditures by department. Leadership has a budget of over $1.8 million, expenditures of over $1.5 million with 13% remaining. Sponsor Performance has a budget of over $1.3 million, expenditures of over $1.2 million with 11% remaining. Support and Implementation has a budget of over $1.2 million, expenditures of over $1.1 million with 11% remaining. External Affairs has a budget of $643,000, expenditures of over $564,000 with 12% remaining. And then lastly, the best department, Financial Services and HR, has a budget of over $918,000, expenditures of over $731,000 with 20% remaining. If you flip over to the next 2 pages, that's page 5 and 6 of my report. This is generated by the State Department and includes all state funding calculated for the district. Of the $271.1 million total allocation for the year, $264.1 million is under the state aid to classrooms line, which is approximately 97.44% of our state funding. The next page, this report shows the revenue versus expenditures by month. Since October, the district has shown a net increase each month for a total net income of that $381,172 through May 31st. And then lastly, the final page of my report displays the budget versus actual revenue received for the year. Through the end of May, the district budgeted $5,539,348 with actual revenue of $5,613,908, which is a net increase of approximately 1.35%. Madam Chair, this concludes my May financial report, and I respectfully request board approval pending any questions.
Thank you, thank you. We need a motion and a second to approve the May 2026 financial report as recommended by Nick Michael.
I move that we accept the recommendation as presented, the finance statements as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any questions, any further questions?
Just one.
Yes.
After page 3, you said something about what was going to happen in June, and I missed it.
There's going to be a net increase in June and then a net increase in our fund balance for the year end.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we will now put the motion to a vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for your precision.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next.
Third reading, yes.
Yes, the next action item, the third reading of the 2027 general fund budget. Madam Chair and board members, this reading is identical to the first and second that I presented in the prior months. Projected revenue is based on the Senate version to include the district's current 135-day membership, LCA transfer schools' current 135-day membership, increasing the state minimum salary for teachers $2,000, interest on our investments, and our 2% state mandated authorizing fee. This is a very conservative revenue forecast because it doesn't include growth in our current or transfer schools.
Thank you. We need a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm still going, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Sorry. You go
Moving
ahead.
on to the next slide, this shows the projected revenue sources for the district office general fund budget only, which is a conservative estimate of $7.8 million. All right, looking at projected expenditures, we would like to offer our staff a 3% cost of living increase to reward all staff, including the superintendent, for operational excellence. Additionally, we would like to increase essential FTEs from 38 to 45. This is due to the massive expansion of adding on the LCA transfer schools.
May we go back to that one just before?
Yes.
What, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. We'll come back to it in a minute.
All right, and then this slide shows that most of the expenditure increases are for salaries and benefits, and then also travel to allow current and future staff to support the schools. And then the final slide provides a balanced budget of $7.8 million in revenue and $7.8 million in expenditures for an increase of 29.33% for both compared to the FY26 budget. Madam Chair, this concludes my third reading of the FY27 general fund budget, and I respectfully request board approval pending any questions.
Thank you. We need a motion and a second to approve this third reading of fiscal year 2026-27 budget as recommended by staff. Thank you. Have a motion and a second? Second, thank you. Are there any questions, discussions? I had that one question about the 3%.
Yes.
So is that in the continuum of things, is that generous? What would you say?
Yes,
Is it appropriate? Because we think everybody in here is very appropriate in what they're doing, so
Yes.
I just wanted to be sure.
Since I've joined the district in January of 2020, we've offered a 3% increase every year.
3% every year?
Every year. And that's very comparable to traditional districts our size.
Okay, that's good, that's good.
I would also like to note that inflation is over 4% right now, per the Wall Street Journal.
That's right, I heard it this morning.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
Nick, other than the 3%, are there other times where we offer individual type differences as it relates to increases, or is it just 3% across the board and that's the way it works?
We offer additional increases for people who are receiving promotions. Typically, it's 5%, or to bring them into that salary band for that range.
But if they get a promotion, they don't also get the cost of living increase.
Right.
If it's in the next fiscal year. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
any other questions? Okay, so we will now put the motion to a vote. All in favor of the motion? Please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, wait.
Yeah, I think it's our board elections, yeah.
Eric's.
I didn't do anything because I do was maybe not finished. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Right, number two this morning. The item on the agenda is for board elections, and the reason I'm addressing it is because a number of you asked about the new policy that you put into place last year on the timing of the elections. This is a kind of a change because we changed the board policy manual to deal with just exactly this scenario last year. In the past, our board policy manual required elections in June. It had been kind of perennially a problem because every June we seem to have new board members named by the General Assembly, and they were just rolling on. Hello, Matthew. And so it turned out that we continued to sort of have these issues where we had new board members just coming on right when we were having elections. And we had all talked about this in the board policy planning process, and we had all agreed that that really just, the June in many years just did not work very well because we had new board members coming on, we had strategic planning we were trying to do, we didn't have a meeting in July, and it just was not a very satisfactory time to do board elections. And so because of this very scenario, we had talked about this, and so several of you have raised it. I'm just now introducing this idea since several had raised it, and to remind you that, that the board policy, it's 2F, does allow you now to reschedule your board elections to any time before the end of the calendar year. You don't have board elections on the agenda for today to actually scheduled, but I do think it's important that you basically have a motion to acknowledge that you are going to reschedule them for a later date before the end of the year. I think just procedurally it's important that you do that so it doesn't look like you just ignored them. My suggestion to you is that you do just have a procedural vote, a motion to reschedule the elections, the board elections for a date not before the end of the calendar year, which is what your policy says, and that you decide on a date probably at the August meeting, which is when you're doing your strategic planning, and then you'll have everybody seated. We'll have time for everybody to have kind of gotten their feet just a little bit. We'll be doing the annual planning then for your dates and all of that kind of stuff. So that'd be my suggestion, just having talked with staff and having talked with your chair and several of you, and knowing that we've got appointments and people rolling off and that kind of thing. I hope that's helpful for you. So that's just my recommendation to you as to how to handle it from a scheduling perspective.
Yes.
Motion to move the elections to a date not before the end of the year, to be considered in August for a specific date.
Yeah, I should say not after the end of the year.
Not after the end of the year.
That was my error that you repeated. Sorry
No,
about that.
my fault.
Second.
Okay, good. Any questions? No, this is wonderful. I think everybody will benefit from that.
It was a good change to the policy manual. It had been an issue in prior years. And it created a lot of procedural confusion and people that just felt, I think, a little disenfranchised in trying to participate in the elections and whatnot. So I think it's a good change, and I think we're already seeing the benefits of having done the changes to the policy manual last year. So.
Chris wants to.
Yeah, one additional comment on that note. So we were notified by the President of the Senate this week that he's appointed Lieutenant General Tom James to the board. He will be replacing Stephen, who had requested to come off the board. So, excuse me, General James will join the board in August.
Additional good reason.
Yes, yes. Okay. So do we need to vote on this motion? So we have a motion and a second. We've already concluded with questions. The chair would now put the motion to a vote. All in favor of board elections being rethought through, the timing of those to being rethought through. All those in favor of this motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, trustees, I was a little excited to get up here just a moment ago. I want to begin my comments with you this morning to introduce some of our new teammates that we have brought on. First, I'd like to introduce Casey Kelly, who joined us earlier this month as one of our Power School coordinators. Casey, if you'd stand. Casey joins us from a charter school where she served as both their Power School administrator as well as their registrar. She's already jumped right into the team, and we're busy working up as we wrap up Power School, not only for our district, but for Limestone districts, as well as preparing for summer rollover, summer training, and much, much more. So we welcome Casey to our team. Next, although we don't have a slide, I'd like to introduce you to 3 interns who are working with us this summer on some key projects. First up, I'd like to introduce you to Dylan Smith. Dylan is a sophomore at the Citadel, and this coming school year, he will be part of the cadre there. After graduating and serving as an officer in the United States Armed Forces, Dylan hopes to work in the supply and logistics field. Second, I'd like to introduce you to Colin Jeffords. Colin is a junior at the Citadel, and in July will be at Basic. After graduating and serving as an officer in the United States Army, the Armed Forces, Colin wants to work in the insurance industry. Finally, we have Chase Pound. Chase is a sophomore at the Citadel, and after graduating and serving as an officer, Colin wants to work in medical or pharmaceutical sales. These three bright interns have already been busily working on several key projects. First of all, they're working to assist us in making sure that we get all the charters organized, scanned for public posting as now required by Act 123. Second, over the years, we have accumulated a lot of IT devices, particularly Chromebooks and old laptops, and so they're assisting our Director of IT, Aaron, in making sure that we get those unpackaged, we get them inventoried, we get them wiped, and then we are able to dispose of them. So, welcome to our interns, and we're excited for their work with us this summer. This month, we have 3 non-material changes to share with you. First, Green Simpsonville is strategically relocating its middle school students from its Simpsonville campus to its Green Upstate campus to accommodate wait lists that they're having at the Green Simpsonville. Second, Horse Creek Aiken, one of our new schools, from whom you heard the school leader, is renovating an existing instructional space to include more CTE space so that now they can include an esthetician completer program. Finally, the Myers Center for Special Children has a non-material change. They're adding a 4K tuition-based inclusion program for next year. It will be a class of a maximum of 20 students for typically developing 4- and 5-year-olds who will then be integrated with their 4- and 5-year-old students with disability counterparts. These are 3 non-material changes that we have conferred with council and present to you as information.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lastly, as you can imagine, we have been busily working with all of the Limestone Charter Association, managing 2 school districts simultaneously, transferring 2 schools to the Charter Institute at Erskine, transferring 12 to us, and closing 3. I'm happy to report, Madam Chair, that our staff have been equal to the task, and we have served them with the same core values as we serve our other schools. And I heartily commend our district staff for their dedication, commitment, and quality of work to serve these schools amidst such times of change. To speak a little bit more to our work, I'm asking Dr. Perry Mills, who is our Chief Charter Operations Officer, to come and kind of give you a short debrief on our works in the last month or so. Dr. Mills?
All right. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Neely. I want to make sure I go to the next slide. Am I going to write? Hooked on phonics works for me. There it is. Last time we did have a picture of the bus. We don't have a picture of the bus with us on tour this time. We were looking for a motorcycle with a sidecar because it was me and John initially, and then support and implementation team came on board. Emily Baker traveled to a couple schools with us, Susan Howard, as well as Rihanna Smith. But I would like to provide a brief update of our ongoing work related to LCA management, school transitions, and school closure activities. And I was sitting here looking at some of the acronyms, and on behalf of Mr. Tyler at LCA, I think we've heard it's the Limestone Charter Association. And remember we had the acronym booklet for you all, so we throw out a lot of acronyms. The full LCA management support. Our team continues to support comprehensive support to all schools under LCA management, former LCA management, with a strong focus on both finance and power school operations. In addition, we actively support schools through our support and implementation team in several critical areas. The second visit we did includes support and implementation as a part of the conversation to share other information with our schools. And some of those critical areas were the federal and state program compliance, assessment of administration and accountability requirements, funding and reimbursement processes, including support and allowance of schools to appropriately claim eligible funds, federal funds, and technical assistance and operational guidance across multiple program areas. To ensure consistency with communication and accountability, we've established a tracking mechanism and a common email process that allows us to monitor requests, respond efficiently, and maintain continuity of support. We also continue to work closely with the South Carolina Department of Education, maintaining regular communication and coordination to ensure schools remain aligned with state expectations and requirements. In our transfer schools to PCSD, We have made significant progress with the schools transitioning to our district. Key accomplishments include completion of all finance transactions, transition activities, completion of all Power School transition activities. Successful second visit were conducted at all schools to assess readiness and provide additional support. And I say all 12 schools, we did miss one school. They had an incident down at Myrtle Beach, and we're not able to make one school. That school also has a new leader coming in from Virginia at the end of June, 1st of July. I've been in communication with him via email, and so we are going to schedule a visit back to him to give him the benefit of the doubt as a new leader at ACA, so we'll be going back down there. And we did a formal handoff to the support and implementation team for ongoing assistance. Currently, we're working to connect schools to all remaining state platforms and systems to ensure seamless operation transition. One of the biggest ones we were looking at was ClassLink, make sure all of our schools have ClassLink, and I think Josh somewhere, probably almost there, almost for the ClassLink. At the same time, we have begun preparing a comprehensive support plan for 26-27. When we went on the second visit, I did tell the school leaders that even though we're doing a handoff to support and implementation, they're not done with me just yet. I still want to put a support plan in place to go back throughout this first year with us. School closure activities. Regarding the 3 schools currently undergoing closure process, routine meetings continue to be held with school leadership and stakeholders. Schools are actively compiling and submitting documentation required under the state closure protocol. This work remains a priority to ensure compliance and an orderly transition. While progress is being made, there are some challenges associated with closure process, particularly around documentation collection and records management, and also with timelines. To address these needs, staff will continue to be on site as necessary to retrieve critical documents, support records preservation, and ensure all required materials are secured and submitted appropriately. And lastly, to transfer schools to CIE, that's the Charter Institute at Erskine. For 2 schools transferred to CIE, we continue to hold weekly coordination calls with CIE leadership and staff. These meetings focus on several key areas to include student and operational data transfers, funding considerations, summer camp planning, and additional school-specific needs as they arise. We appreciate CIE's collaborative approach throughout this transition process. Their partnership has helped facilitate productive discussions and proactive planning, ensuring schools receive the support needed for successful transfer. And in closing, overall, we have continued to make steady progress across all areas. Our focus remains on providing strong operational support, maintaining compliance, ensuring smooth transitions, and supporting students, families, and staff throughout these important processes. And as always, putting kids first in all we do. Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? So what are the 3 schools that are closing?
We have South Carolina Leadership, South Carolina Preparatory, and Aim High. Yeah, I keep forgetting, Aim High. 2 of those are virtual schools, and 1 is a local brick and mortar. I'm sorry, all 3 are virtual? Well,
All 3 are virtual?
All 3 are virtual.
Okay, and then the transfer schools, you said there were 2?
2 going to Erskine.
And which are those 2?
So that includes Horse Creek, Kershaw, and Co-Learn Academy.
And what was the second one?
Co-Learn Academy.
Thanks.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, yes.
Dr. Mills, I want to commend you on holding these, especially our new schools, accountable. Question, as it relates to the support programs and federal funding, are opportunity zones still a pretty good avenue for you?
Well, I guess with the transition to the opportunity zones, you mean?
Yes.
Right now, we kind of took a little bit of a churn, not necessarily from that, but some of the schools that we did add to our portfolio in the Myrtle Beach area can still be a part of that opportunity zone. We haven't shut the door on that by any means. Okay. Of course, our superintendent still wants to make sure we are serving students in those areas of opportunity zones.
Thank you.
Yeah, and on that note, the latest data shows that now 63% of our students come from rural South Carolina. Yeah, I don't know that there's another district other than one that might be located in a rural district that has more than 63% of their students that come from rural South Carolina.
Thank you.
And that includes those opportunity zones.
Okay. Thank you.
And one thing I failed to say, actually, I have to admit this part, the schools were so receptive to us being on their campus. We had really, really good meetings the first and second visit. So I applaud the schools for being open their doors to us and, welcome us into being able to be a support part of their team. Even had a part of, added them to our graduations this year, and I went to Horse Creek Academy and enjoyed some time with Dr. Anne Marie. It was great.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes our sponsor performance update, pending any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Just congratulations on all the initiatives you're doing and really servicing children in South Carolina in rural places and really giving them that opportunity and hope.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
It's a great mission.
Good morning again.
Good morning, Emily.
Before I begin, I would like to give 3 quick shout outs, if you don't mind. The first is for Miss Ariel Eves, if you could stand. She's on leave. Okay, well, I want you to know, and we will all make sure Ariel knows. Ariel transitioned into a new role this year, and one of her buckets that she was supporting our schools directly with was their ADEPT evaluations for their educators. And so ADEPT evaluations are the way that certified teachers are evaluated each school year. That data goes into a system called SC Lead. Ariel single-handedly, yes, I was there to support her, but she did this all on her own, whether she wants to admit it or not. She opened, supported schools, and closed 1,200 evaluations this year. It's a really big feat for someone coming into a new role, and she did it with grace and ease, and so I just wanted to recognize her for her role with supporting schools with educator evaluations this school year. So congratulations to Ariel. Up next is an announcement for you to share, a celebration for Miss Diana. Diana Kingsbury, officially as of Monday, has been promoted to our district assessment coordinator. So congratulations. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. Diana was our district assessment coordinator. I was used to that. And she has now been promoted to director of assessment. Thank you for correcting me. And then I would also like to recognize Dawn and Susan, if y'all would stand. Dawn and Susan, as Perry just mentioned to you, we have brought the LCA schools into our portfolio. One of the things that we needed to do to support them this school year was to keep their federal funds flowing. Okay? Those federal funds kind of came to us in pieces, and they needed to be corralled and organized so that we could reimburse properly and with a process. So Dawn built that process alongside her teammates. It took a good bit of time, I would say weeks, and we were able to get schools to begin submitting for federal reimbursements. So as of June 1st, our LCA schools are receiving their federal funds through that reimbursement process that Susan and Dawn are collaborating on. And I am told that today, just since June 1st, they've processed close to $500,000 for our schools. So our LCA schools are getting that money back from what they have spent this past school year. Okay, we have 2 new team members, okay? Michaela Robinson, if you would please stand to be recognized. Michaela has joined our team as a new position. She is our support and implementation assistant. So she is directly supporting Susan and I and taking some clerical items off of our plate, but she is also spreading kind of like sprinkles and sparkles to our full team. So we're all benefiting from her being here. So she's been with us for close to a month now, and she has just hit the ground running. So we're happy for Michaela to join us. She's joining us from SAM, the Spartanburg Academic Movement, if you're aware of that organization. So welcome, Michaela. And then Ryan Allman. Ryan Allman has joined us Monday, and he is the new Diana. He is the new district assessment coordinator, and Ryan may look familiar to you. He is familiar to our team. He is coming to us from East Point Academy, and he has hit the ground running this week. So we have collaborated with Ryan for many years in his role at the school, and we're happy for him to join and share his expertise with us here at the district office. Welcome, Ryan. You know, I was really hoping that Dr. Strickland was here for this one today, but he's not. So, okay, South Carolina High School League. This is a legislative update for you. So House Bill 4163 was signed by Governor McMaster on May 18th of this legislative cycle. Okay, the South Carolina High School League bill updates go into effect in June of 2027. Okay, some highlights from that updated legislation to share with you. The governing board of the South Carolina High School League has been restructured as outlined in the slide. Please note that a charter rep is now a consistent member of that board, okay? And that also doesn't mean that there's not a world where we can have more than one representative as well. As you'll see here, that for each class, whether you're 1A, 3A, 5A, whatever that is, there's a superintendent representative from each class. There's also a principal. There's also athletic director from each class. So we will have one seat, but I think there could also be a world where we see more than one charter rep on the board through wearing different hats. Currently, Jimmy Armstrong, the executive director of Greer Middle College and Greer Prep, sits and holds that charter rep seat on the governing board. The executive committee chairman will now be elected annually by that governing board as well. The elected members will have staggered terms, and the executive director will also have contract terms that will not exceed 3 years. One additional update pertaining to athletics, Josh Trahan, the school leader of Fox Creek, will again serve as our district athletic director for the 26-27 school year. He has already made himself available and has been collaborating and supporting with our Limestone school transfers as well. And finally, yes.
I also serve with Billy Strickland on the South Carolina High School League, and I'm sort of torn about the changes that have been made. I know that Jerome did a wonderful job, and I don't see how this will change anything or improve anything, but
Understood.
I just want to make that comment.
Yes.
Dr. Pope, I would just add that this was actually the proposal of SCAZA, led by Brooke Royster.
I know him too.
Yeah, no, I know you do. And I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't what we were.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not.
We
saying that.
we actually didn't get involved in this
I just
discussion
know
because
how
the
hard
high school
Jerome
league.
worked, and
Yeah.
I just think that his early retirement had to do with these changes that were made, and I hate the fact that he retired from something he was
Yeah,
doing. So
it was definitely a very contentious issue in the General Assembly. And I think what they did was took the recommendations from SCAZA and that committee.
Right.
Yeah.
They did.
And Dr. Pope must say that some of the traditional things are totally changing due to the NIL, due to the, transfer rules for the athletic teams. A lot of this has to do with that too. So I know Jerome was, over all of that, but
Yeah.
this is gonna change a lot of.
I just worked with him and know that he did a good job.
Yeah, he
And
did.
I was on the board
He
with
did.
Billy.
But it's time for some change, Dr. Pope.
Yeah, times change. They don't always change for the better.
Yes, we do appreciate and thank him for his service. Agreed. Thank you for making that point. That's helpful. All right, this is also a celebratory item in my eyes. The U.S. Department of Education recently opened a 2-part grant opportunity via the U.S. Department of Labor. These federal grants were due and submitted just this week on Tuesday. The first, the grant, as I said, is a 2-part. The first part is what they're calling the TSL initiative. It's teachers and school leader components that have direct focus areas that are provided by this current federal administration. The second part of that grant is the SEED grant, okay, which stands for Supporting Effective Educator Development. And you, based on what type of entity you are, allows you to submit the grant one way or another, okay? The public charter school district has been approved to participate in numerous grant applications, or I'm sorry, not approved, approached. We've been approached by different entities to participate in these grant applications. And I believe that this is a really big deal for us because it shows that we have strong partnerships and relationships within South Carolina and also and beyond. And it was kind of like there was a week there when the grant opened that our phones just kept ringing. which is a great change. I think it shows that we're headed in the right direction. So 3 of those applications that we are supporting and have been included in as participants within those applications. The first is the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching, or NIET. They have applied for the SEED grant with absolute priorities focusing on teachers, math, and apprenticeships. And apprenticeships is not what you're envisioning as far as the workforce. Within this grant, that apprenticeship means the teacher pipeline, like educator prep programs. The South Carolina Department of Ed has applied for the TSL grant alongside educational or external educational organizations with a focus on collective leadership. And the third grant that we were included on is from Coastal Carolina University. They have applied for the SEED grant with a focus on, this one's my favorite. There's 3 parts to their grant. The one that I think is very unique is they're creating a pipeline for paraprofessionals to grow their capacity in literacy instruction so that those aides in the classroom can directly support readers, but also allows them the opportunity to become a certified educator if they so choose during that program. So our role in each of these grants is simply a liaison between the entity and our schools, but also being active good partners with all those organizations. Those grant awards should be published this fall, so as soon as we know if any of those were approved, we will share that with you as well. And that concludes my report, pending any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
This actually pertains to Nick. Nick, some of the issues and things that you just addressed, I know you met, at least you had a scheduled meeting with Dr. Ivy yesterday, correct?
Nick's over here, he's coming.
Yes, that is correct. We met with Dr. Ivy and his new finance director.
Yeah, so there's a company in town that's in our state looking to give in excess of $150,000, but they could not find some of our charter schools in compliance. Did he share some of that with you?
We did not have a conversation about that.
Well, I'll pause that for after this.
Okay, great.
That way you can communicate it the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now Brad Henry.
I think you're getting the new Brad Henry,
Brad.
John S. Payne.
Before I begin, I want to tap into what Eric said earlier. I noticed that he jumped up wanting to be a John Payne, but it's an exclusive club. There are 2 of us, and we have team colors, as you can tell. But not to be outdone, we have found a third. There's a third John Payne. He's at one of the new LCA charter schools down by the beach. So it's the Holy Trinity. So, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. The 2026 legislative session has concluded, and this was a busy session for education and charter schools. Although the budget will not be finalized for a couple of weeks, there are several meaningful pieces of legislation that have passed for students and families. The first is the Charter Accountability Act, S-454. It has increased state oversight and accountability. The South Carolina Department of Education will oversee all charter school authorizers through annual reviews with authority to issue sanctions or revoking authorizing powers when necessary. The department will also establish standards and training for charter school authorizers. Enhanced transparency requirements. Charter schools must publicly post key financial and governance information, including budgets, audits, transaction registers, credit card statements, board policies, and contracts. It's similar to what we do now. Authorizers will also be required to post the charters of approved schools. There's stronger governance and compliance standards. Charter school boards, authorizers, and staff are explicitly designated as public employees or public officials subject to state ethics laws and FOIA requirements. The bill also strengthens conflict of interest rules, authorizer oversight responsibilities, and processes related to applications, appeals, and transfers between authorizers. It also impacts school board ethics and training. Excuse me, this is the next bill. This is S-70. S-70 requires all school boards and district boards to adopt a model code of ethics established by the State Board of Education. Another law, which was H5073, is called the Truth in Grading Act, which I feel certain you're familiar with. But it's also known as the Grade Floor Bill.
This law establishes statewide standards for grading practices in all public schools, requiring that grades reflect only a student's actual academic performance, and prohibits policies that artificially inflate minimum scores. Another law is H 4591. It's called the, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, SHASM Act. That stands for Stop Harm from Addictive Social Media. It's a new law which seeks to protect kids' mental health by cutting off addictive features like autoplay videos and infinite scrolling for users under age 16. Large social media companies must obtain parental consent for these features. Another law is H 3195. It's the PE and recess bill. The law mandates 150 minutes per week of physical activity, or PE, in grades K through 5. And grades 6 through 8 have to receive at least 60 hours of PE and recess each school year. Implementation is required by the 28-29 school year. The last item is the state budget. The state budget is the lone major item for the legislature to finalize this year. Legislators will return to Columbia after the runoff elections have concluded to pass the final version of the budget. We remain optimistic that charter schools will be fully funded and see a slight increase in funding for the 26-27 school year, which begins on July 1st. Madam Chair, this concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Just one about 3195. You mentioned the PE side. Did you mention the recess side? So what are the recess requirements? I think you said 150 minutes for K through 5.
Oh, okay, I've been correct. It's PE or recess.
So it says 150 minutes.
150 minutes per week of physical activity or PE for K-5.
Okay.
And in grades 6 through 8, they have to receive at least 60 hours of PE and recess each school year. So one's weekly, one's annually.
Great, thank you.
Madam Chair, is that, on that same bill, is that an increase in time? Is that up or down from where it was?
When schools build their schedules, they have autonomy as to how many minutes. And so it depends by school. Like some middle schools already have daily PE plus daily recess to get some wiggles out. Some middle schools don't have that recess component and just the PE part. And so this bill kind of makes sure that everybody comes up to a standard. But I would say that you have schools currently today before this bill above and beyond, or above and below the standard that the bill is asking for.
So was there any minimums prior to this bill?
There are minimums built into the defined program. This kind of amps it up even farther.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In terms of the General Assembly's proper scrutiny over charter schools and their leadership, how has any of this impacted Erskine?
I may have to defer to our counsel, but at least what I see is it makes everyone on the board subject to FOIA, and they are public officials. I think in the past there had been some discussion if they were
They
or maybe
consider
were
that
not.
that board
But
is
they are
public-
now.
Public officials.
They are public officials subject to
accountable to the
FOIA.
state.
Yes.
So that's a very strong, that's a significant strengthening.
That's a significant change from what we had in the
Yes,
past.
it is. Yes,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is. That right there is a key thing. Yes.
And one other item, I will let you know that as far as the governance portion goes in the Charter School Accountability Act, in the past, when a person was elected to a charter school board, they had to get one orientation and they were one and done. We didn't prefer that, but that was the law. We have encouraged board members who have received this orientation to come in for continuing education. These are volunteers. Sometimes it's hard to get them to do that. Now they have to do it. They have to have training at least once a year. We are going to be working with the department to work out the regulations on that. But we now have over 400 board members among our 59 schools, so you're going to see a lot of activity here. I have also started going to meet with the board chairs of the new LCA transfer schools. I've met with 2 so far. I was in Spartanburg yesterday. Next Wednesday, I'll be in Aiken at Horse Creek. But I'm actively going out to meet with these chairs and to make sure that they're up to date. And I always take the new Charter Act, I take the South Carolina FOIA Act, and I take the live stream mandate because some schools, they just don't know what they don't know. But we're going to make sure that they're aware of all the law.
I would like to know, I would like a copy of those things.
I'll email them to you.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
can do that.
And I'll talk at lunch, I'll talk to you at lunch later
Okay.
about, just some fill in the blanks, stuff like.
Okay.
Because of things that we've been through, and just see how these laws are going to impact that. for the
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Are there any other
Thank our
questions?
General Assembly.
Any other? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Emily Paul.
John, great job filling in for Brad. All right. I am here to wrap up our 25-26 annual plan. It has been a year of monitoring and adjusting, which is fine and great. I want to congratulate the full team on all of the work that y'all did this year on the annual plan. But especially on the LCA transition, I think all of the work that we have done over the past years through our strategic plan really set us up for success in that and allowed us to get that done really well and smoothly. So congratulations on all that work. All right, so in the green box is completed. That is just a list of a couple highlights. We actually, as you know, every month had a lot of completed things, but we worked really hard this year on succession planning, professional growth and development. You saw us name our first Workforce Center of Excellence, and of course, then we came to you in January and said, hey, we need to pause on some things in this annual plan and pivot because we are bringing in 14 new schools, and so we did that. So again, year of monitoring and adjusting. Because of that pivot in January, there are a few things that we're going to carry over into next school year, and those are the IT and data governance policies and procedures, some leadership development things, a survey of stakeholders, cross-team training, streamlining effective communications, and then developing strong staffing plans based on data. Our next step, so we're going to close out any last things that we need to for this year. We will be working on drafting our FY27 annual plan. That is a team effort. Based on that, our deputies will start drafting their department plans, and then our individual team members will start drafting their goals. And then again, we will do what we do best and implement, monitor, and adjust. Just again, really proud of how we got through this year and did what we needed to do to pivot. And then my last update is we are planning a board retreat. Right now it's planned to be following the August meeting at an off-site location. Sometime in July, we are going to have a planning call with the executive committee to nail down what the agenda should be for that retreat, but I'm looking forward to that, looking forward to just some strategic planning there and maybe bringing Stan Davis back in for some board training. So that concludes my report, pending any questions.
Thank you, Emily. Dr. Neely. Almost.
There's still a dissertation to complete, but the proposal has been submitted. So, and then my advisor said, well, I'll get back to you at the end of the summer. So that's the way it goes, right, Dr. Pope?
That's right.
So I'm on their timeline. Anyway, it's good to be with all of you. Good morning. I want to first, again, give out a really warm shout out to Mandy and Andrea. Let's give them another round of applause. I want to also thank our school leaders that are here today, Anne Marie and Bill. Let's give them a round of applause. Caitlin, thank you for sharing your voice today. We quite frankly don't have many moments when parents come to Columbia and share concerns and ideas, and so it means a lot that you would drive down and be here. We really value your voice, and we respect your opinions, and I'm glad you made the trip. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. I will say I am very optimistic about the future of Greene. I am, because this district's committed to those students and those families, and that's the difference maker. School leaders can come and go, but this district, through its values and philosophy, is determined to see that all of our schools succeed. And we've got great schools today that weren't so great not long ago. And so I know there's a lot of hope and opportunity ahead. I'm really excited about our new board members. Matthew, you've been a great partner the last several years. We ran into Matthew in an event over in Camden at Tom Mulliken's law firm when Tom Mulliken was advocating that the United States Supreme Court add the Briggs case to the top of the docket ahead of Brown. Because the Briggs case in Clarendon County was actually the first. And then there were other cases, if you know that history, going back to the 1950s. And Matthew was at that event, and we just started a conversation about coastal Carolina. And then we worked together and created a PhD program there specific to charter schools. And through that relationship, Matthew started inquiring us if there's ever an opportunity to serve on your board, I would love to do that. And so, Matthew, we're appreciative that Governor McMaster is appointing you, so congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And we're also excited that General James will join the board in August. You'll have a chance to meet him. A very important, stellar career serving our country around the world, and look forward to getting to know him. Senator Alexander speaks very highly, so we're excited. And we will also celebrate our friend Stephen Gilchrist, who had to be in Washington today. We'll celebrate him in August for his service to our state and to this district. To our graduate honorees, I'm really appreciative of all the honors that our graduates have received. It's been a great graduation season, and seeing them walk across with associate's degrees, dual credit, credentials, certificates, intentional commitments to serve in our military, all of it has been just wonderful and very inspiring. Want to appreciate our new employees, all of you that have joined the team, and we will have a few more that will join the team here during the summer. The work is important, the growth is real, and as you heard Anne Marie and Bill talk about their growth and expansion, this is going on in all our charter schools. And so as our schools grow, we have to grow if we're going to keep up the same level of support. So, but we'll be very intentional about that, and I appreciate the board's support of the budget. It means a lot. The budget has grown quite a bit since I've been here, but so has the number of students in schools and the supports that we're able to provide. So really enjoyed the celebration that we had last month, our 20th anniversary celebration. What a wonderful day it was in the life of this district. And I want to thank all of you that were able to be there and really share in the celebration of putting kids first for 20 years here in the public charter school district. Just some more.
That's my sister right there.
Yep, that's your sister, Terry. And of course, Kathleen Bounds came back to share in the celebration. And it was just wonderful. Governor Pam Evett was there and gave some really inspiring remarks. And we'll watch as she and our Attorney General compete in a primary, and then we also, on the Democrat side, Jermaine ran a really strong campaign. So we're excited to see how things shape up. But I think we'll have some kids first advocates no matter who wins. As John, spoke earlier, and Perry, we've continued to provide support to our new schools. I don't call them LCA schools anymore. They're PCSD schools. And we had round 2 of those visits. So that's 2 rounds to all 14 schools. That's 28 visits in 2 months. That's a lot of road time, a lot of road travel. So I commend Perry and John and the whole team for being the road warriors they were, and there were no accidents to report. Had a great visit at Pace Academy a couple weeks ago, and I spoke about this in my little short Thing 3 video. I hope you find that valuable. Just a short little video. I'm not trying to be Dr. Trevor Ivy. No way I could ever be like that. But I want to speak specifically to Aaron. He's the student in the middle. And Aaron is a 6th grader, and when he came to Pace last year, he could not read. And he's now able, after just 1 year, to read on a 1st grade level. And he wanted to read to me. And so he read to me, and I was so inspired by that, I gave Aaron a coin. And he was so proud of that coin. His grandmother called the following day. He lives with his grandmother, and she called and said he slept with that coin. 5 days later, the school sent me another photo and told me of him in an assembly with all the students. He was still holding the coin. And I want you to know he's home for the summer, and he's still carrying that coin in his pocket. That's what it looks like when you see the spark in a child. And he inspired me, and this is motivation for all of us to continue to remember what is inside the child, and then if we'll ever just take the time to see the potential inside of them, we can have more Aarons. And I have no doubt that when he returns in July for school again, he's going to make great progress, and I think he's going to be reading on a 3rd grade level after next year. So even though Aaron's not here with us, let's give him a round of applause for his motivation and potential. As we do every year, we had a staff cookout last week, and we cooked hamburgers, hot dogs, and some brats. And the theme this year was baseball, so everybody got to wear their team colors and just have a little bit of fun during the lunchtime hour. And I really enjoy this. And the weather, hasn't been really that bad, relatively speaking, for South Carolina. And so I think everybody stayed somewhat cool out there and had a good time. Last Friday, we had the opportunity to share in the Greer Preparatory Academy. This is our new middle school up in Greer, South Carolina. And Representative Mike Burns, who represents that area, was there. This was spectacular. There were over 500 parents that showed up in rush hour on a Friday afternoon in the summer to come and see their child's new school. And you can't see that in the pictures. We'll share some of the other pictures of all the families that were there. It was unbelievable. And they stood out there because they believed in this school. They wanted school choice, and they're getting that. And so it was just a powerful moment to see all those families stream into this building on a Friday afternoon and be a part of that. So it was well worth the trip. Some of you, Dr. Pope, I don't know if you know Dr. Brenda Hafner, who was the superintendent at Lexington 2. She also worked in Richland 2 and in Sumter school districts. Craig, I know you know her because she said she knows you. But she is going to be the new school superintendent at Liberty STEAM. And we're very excited about her. Greg Thompson and the board tapped her to serve and replace Trevor. Trevor is going to be the new CEO of the Liberty Foundation and be a cheerleader, an advocate, and a fundraiser for the mission of Liberty. But we had Dr. Hafner and Jennifer come, Jennifer Cribbs, be a part of training. So we put them kind of the same training that we do for all of you, so you get to hear from the members of the staff and learn about how this district works. I think it was very informative. Brenda sent me a really nice message the other day, and just didn't realize all the things that we do as a district, and realize that in many ways we're very similar to a traditional district, but in many ways we're not. And it was helpful to her and Jennifer to hear that. Yesterday, Eric and I went down to Compass Collegiate in North Charleston, and we welcome fellows from the state of Indiana who were in town as partners with the Children's Fund and Mind Trust, which are supporters of charter schools. And we had a chance to speak and really share kind of the landscape of charters in South Carolina and talk about the new law. And I'll have you know that as part of his professional development plan as a new employee here, I had Eric get up in front of strangers and talk, and I want you to know he did a very good job.
I bet he did a great job.
No, all kidding aside, it was good to meet these folks, and some of them said, I think I'd like to move here. And of course, it was 95 degrees yesterday in Charleston. I said, well, if you're willing to brave it, come on down. But no, it's always good to be able to introduce South Carolina to people from out of state.
Is Hunter there? Is it Hunter?
Hunter's no longer associated with the school. Right. Of course, this is the conclusion of graduation season today. So Bo Spafford is not with us today because he's at LAA's graduation in North Charleston representing the district. But we had 26 graduations, so I'm going to run through photos, but we attended and participated in all 26 of them. And I like to remind my fellow superintendents, you get to drive around in maybe a zip code or two. We're all over the state. But we wanted to show commitment to all of the schools, including all of our new schools. Right, Anne-Marie? Yeah. So this is Mountain View Prep. And again, all of these were so inspiring, and we were all welcomed, just like family. But I'll go through these because I think it's important to commemorate these schools and these graduates of the class of 2026. Greenville Technical Charter High School, again, just wonderful. My message this year to all the graduates was really seeing or feeling the spark within them. And really define for them what that was. And I told the graduates, I said, the feeling that you have right now, sitting in this room, surrounded by all your loved ones, know that it's real, know that it's always been there, and know that long after this graduation, that feeling you have right now will still be there, even through the hard times. So pull within yourself that spark to help you reach your full potential in all that you do in life. So that was my message this year. Here's Riverwalk. This is Bo speaking at Riverwalk Academy. High Point Academy. The valedictorian in that left picture, she's actually from Russia and moved to South Carolina and delivered part of her speech in Russian. It was very, very impressive. Here's Green Upstate High School. Legacy Early College, you can see William over there. I've never seen him in a cap and gown before. Palmetto Scholars Academy. That's Captain Kep, who is one of the base commanders down at Joint Base Charleston. York Preparatory Academy. Midlands Middle College, Bill. Greer Middle College. PD Math Science and Technology Academy. And I've got to explain the picture of me tying the tie. So I went in to buy myself a new bow tie at a store here in Columbia called Britain's. It's been around for 70 years. And I wanted a new bow tie this year. And the owner, Perry Lancaster, a couple years ago when Dion became Teacher of the Year, he gave me a tie to give to Dion. And I presented that to Dion that night. And Perry said, obviously you got something special, Chris. What's going on? I said, well, I'm going to a great graduation tonight over in Bishopville. And I told him about the school. He said, okay, I want you to give one of those graduates a nice tie from Britton's. Now, those of you that know Britton's, these are not cheap ties. And, but he gave me a very nice tie, and I went to Dr. Bailey and I said, Dr. Bailey, I need some recommendations. And this was one of the graduates that he picked out who had gone through this school all the way, and he did not know how to tie a tie. And so I was honored to be able to tie a tie for him that night. He didn't have any parents there that could help him. So we do anything to make these graduates feel special. Orangeburg High School for Health Professionals, another one of our new schools down in Orangeburg. Guys, I'm telling you, you're going to hear more about this school. I mean, they've got it going on down in Orangeburg, and they are going to be a workforce center of excellence because they're all about putting these scholars into the healthcare professions, and they're teaching them all these careers right there in the school. Legion Collegiate Academy up in York County. Carolus Online Academy. Polaris down in Jasper County. Coastal High School. Fox Creek High School. Atlantic Collegiate Academy. And there's Bo. I think that might go down as the picture of the year right there. Somebody's got to teach him how to do a selfie. Bridges Preparatory School. Full House. Horse Creek Academy. Anne Marie, there you go. Oceanside Collegiate Academy. Carolina Shores Acceleration Academy. The young lady on my right, on the right, is she was the valedictorian. She's also an Eagle Scout, one of the first female Eagle Scouts. She received her Eagle Scout Award 2 years ago. Learn for Life Charleston. Emily Paul was there last Friday night. S.C. Whitmore School. There's Kim and John and Marlene. And there's 26 of them, and we'll have a photo from today's LAA graduation. But again, it was a wonderful commencement season. I love seeing all these graduates receive their honors and awards and hear their stories. And one of the PD Math Science Technology students was here today, and she received a military cord, and she's going to go to Claflin College. Great handshake, I'm telling you. She told me she's joined the National Guard. She's applying for a ROTC scholarship. She's going to graduate from Claflin, and then she wants to go active duty Army as an officer. She will be an Army officer, I have no doubt. But there's so many stories. There's 2,100 stories. We had 2,100 graduates this year. That's a record for the district. Every one of those graduates has a story. Every one of those graduates will play a role in the future of our communities, our state, and our country, and the sustainment of our democracy. And so it's with great pride that this entire team gets to be a part of their celebration, that we get to be a part of their journey, and that we get to watch their spark shine. Pending any questions, that's the end of my brief.
So true. Any questions? I guess what we would all consider, not questions, but thanks. Thanks to you all that you're, look at, again, I always say, it's not that big a platoon, but look what it's doing. So we thank you for that. Do we hear a motion and a second to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I do have a comment.
Yes.
Yes, it's a Charter School Growth Fund and the New School Venture Fund. That's the answer, Nick Michael.
Yeah, so Nick, if you want to learn where some new money is, go see Dexter. Yeah, he's got some new friends, right? Yeah, we do welcome support like that. Our charter schools need the extra support. They can't live on state money alone.
Thank you. Okay, we need a motion and a second to adjourn. All in
So
favor?
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
And we have pizza for lunch. We don't normally do pizza, so if you got a long drive, don't eat too much.